Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the new action comedy horror film, They Will Kill You. This film stars Zazie Beetz, Mahalia Heathergram, and Patricia Arquette. This film tells the story of an ex-con who answers a help-wanted ad to be a housekeeper at the Virgil, a mysterious New York City high-rise, not realizing she is entering a community that has seen a number of disappearances over the years. And that is the official synopsis of the film. And that's what I thought I was getting into when I walked into the theater to watch They Will Kill You. I thought, I saw the trailer and I'm like, okay, a little whacked out, little action comedy type film that's in the same vein as Ready or Not. And okay, I can go with it. Zazie Beetz, good to see her in a leading role. Been a fan of hers since Atlanta. And so I'm interested to see this. Man, I walking in, watching this movie, midway through, I was like, what am I watching? And in a good way, this movie caught me off guard on what the story is actually about. Maybe they were in other trailers or other promotional materials, but I missed it. I didn't know that this movie had a horror element, and I mean a real horror element to it. It was some really whacked out stuff that was going on in this high rise that just blew my mind. And I was all for it. And I love to be surprised when I go to see a movie. We don't get that these days. The trailers normally spoil most of these movies, and the plot, the twists, and who done it and how it's going to end and who's going to survive just by watching a 2-minute trailer these days. But not here. This really, really surprised me. I enjoyed They Will Kill You. They really took the Ready or Not concept and just injected it with steroids in this movie. This is such a hyper-realized, just don't care. It was nothing off limits in this movie as far as the violence and the kills that take place in this movie. I mean, kill is in the title, so you pretty much expect that there's going to be some killing in this movie, but there's so much killing. There's a lot of killing in a lot of graphic ways, in a lot of unique ways, and it was fun. That's my sadistic side. It was fun to watch Zazie Beetz just go ham on all of these people in this high rise. As I mentioned before, Zazie Beetz, I'm a big fan of hers. I've been waiting for something of hers, to kind of break out into the mainstream. Granted, she was Domino in Deadpool 2, and so she's been in big movies. She was in Joker, and so she's been in big movies, but I mean as far as leading a film, and could she handle it? And that was kind of a question mark going into this. Can she handle being the lead in a movie? And that answer is yes. She handled it perfectly. I really liked her character. There's a lot of question marks as far as development wise with her character, but overall, I enjoyed her performance as Asia is her name in the movie. Boy, she is. Do not be caught in a dark alley with Zazie Beetz. She is a beast in this movie. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know how much of her own stunt work is in this film because they did a really good job of filming the action here where it kind of intercuts with stunt performers and whatnot. I don't know if she did a majority of it or not, but she looked good doing it, man. I mean, well, first and foremost, she's a beautiful woman, period. But she looked good in these action sequences, battling 4 or 5 different people at the same time was was a joy to watch, and it was done in a I hate to say realistic way because this movie is so fantastical. It's unbelievable. It's not believable in that sense. It's not real in the sense of like, oh man, this can happen. I mean, as far as her character being like this unstoppable killing machine, a GI Jane type or a female Rambo that is just a killing machine, not like that. She takes bruises, she takes punches, she takes kicks, she takes being stabbed. I mean, she went through the ringer in this movie, and I really appreciate the fact that they didn't set her character up like she is this highly trained operative or former Navy SEAL that was in SEAL Team 6 or anything like that, or she was trained by the Buddhist monks and she could do all forms of martial arts and all this other stuff. No, it wasn't that. She's just a tough chick that will beat you down if need be. And she handled that portion of it well. As far as her story, her backstory, and her character, there's a lot of question marks around it. It wasn't much development of her character because this movie starts and it was all gas, no brakes. It never took the time to kind of develop. Yeah, you got a couple of flashbacks throughout the film where you get little story setups and little nuggets here and there, which was good that served the overall story. But as far as her character, and to be fair, all of the characters are kind of underdeveloped. We don't know much about any of them, but clearly it's not that type of movie. This is the sit down, have your popcorn, have your icy or your soda pop, and turn your brain off and have fun. And that's what it is. It's not about deep philosophical questions or trying to solve the universe and how it was created. This was just a bananas crazy action horror film. So she handled that well. Speaking of her, uh man, Patricia Arquette. Patricia Arquette is such a joy to watch, bruh. I mean, I'm watching this movie and for some strange reason my mind flashed back to A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. And that was her first film. And I remember her in that movie. And I'm like, wow, she came back to horror after all these years. After what, about 40 years almost, and got this just crazy role as this superintendent of this high rise, the leader of this cult. It was a joy to see her. She didn't have much to do, but the time that she had on screen, the few moments that we had with her in this movie, she was good. I mean, it's Patricia Arquette. I mean, I love her. I love her in everything she's in, but she really this could have easily been a paycheck movie or whatever, but she really gave a performance in this movie. All of them did. Nobody really gave a cheap performance outside of some of the supporting cast. I'm gonna touch in on in a couple of minutes, but as far as Patricia Arquette, she was a worthy adversary for Zazie Beetz in this film. But the true standout performance, it comes from Mahala. I believe I'm saying her name right, Mahala, uh, the young actress that's on the HBO show Industry. I never watched the show, but I heard that she's good in it. I heard that she's a really good actress. But this was my first time actually seeing her in the film. I don't know how old she's supposed to be in the movie. I know she's like in her mid-20s, I think, or early 20s in actuality, but I don't know if she's a teenager or not, but she looks really, really young. She just looks young, naturally. And so she kind of fits into that role that she's playing in the film. But I love her. She had the best performance of the movie. I think her character had a lot. I think out of all of the development, I think all of it went to her character. She had a lot of backstory, a lot of motivation, and they gave it all to her, which was kind of weird. And I'm not knocking it because it was a good character and a good performance, but uh, why wasn't that given to the lead? It was kind of weird, but I did like it, especially when those two were together, Zazie Beetz and Mihaela. But good on her. Good to see her in a feature film as well, branching out from television. And now where the performances go kind of left for me, Heather Graham is in this movie, and I'm wondering why. And it's nothing against Heather Graham, but anybody could have played that role that she had. Now, she had one scene in here that was top notch, and she went all in on that, and I loved that. I think that was the only time I kind of laughed out loud was with her. No, I'm lying because I laughed out loud a couple of times in the movie, but uh, I think I laughed the most in this one particular scene that she's in. Like the first time we were introduced to her. No, second time she's introduced. I'm trying to bounce around spoilers here, but anyways, yeah, the second time we see her on screen, she was hilarious in that scene, and so that was great. But after that, you could have put anybody in that role. I could have played that role. Because it wasn't nothing to that role. And when you see an actress of Heather Graham's ilk, you would think it would have been more to that character. And maybe it was trimmed down in post or something like that. But she really had nothing to do. Tom Felton is in this movie, from Harry Potter. He's all grown up now, people. He's in this movie, and another one. I'm like, why is he in here? He didn't have much to do. Really, nothing. He had nothing to do other than chase around Zazie Beetz. That was it. It was nothing else to those characters there. But aside from Zazie Beetz, Mihaela, and Patricia Arquette, everybody else was just cannon fodder. It was, they were there to be there, But going back to my positive side, the kills in this movie were amazing. I touched in on it a little while ago, but they had some cool kills in, in this movie that had my jaw drop, really. And I thought I've seen every way you could kill a person in a film, but they found a way to do it in this movie that was so entertaining. And I know that is sick to say, but it is. It was like hilarious. People were laughing on how brutal it was. Not because it was a comedic way. I guess it was in a way, but it was brutal. It was brutal, and you can't help but laugh at how brutal these kills are. Nothing is subtle. Subtlety was not allowed on set. That was banned from set. Everything was loud and hyper and just foot on the gas, man. It was amazing on how brutal they went in this movie. And shockingly, if you want to believe it or not, it's not super gory. Yes, there's a lot of blood. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of blood, but it's not a lot of gore that I was expecting to see, especially once I figured out what this movie was. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be a slaughterhouse type movie. But no, it wasn't, but they still had the kills, man. It was still brutal. They didn't hold back when it came to butchering people in this film. My last little nitpick about the movie is the ending. The ending was kind of, I don't know how I can word it, but it just didn't 100% work. I'll just put it mildly like that. Was it satisfying? I guess so. But it wasn't 100% satisfying because I still have questions. and I shouldn't leave a theater with questions, especially in a movie that you're asked to turn your brain off, and then you're sitting there like, wait, let me turn it back on right quick. Let me hit the switch because I don't know what just happened. you know, it's one of those like out of left field endings or uh uh suspend disbelief, type of endings, and you just gotta run with it. And I just didn't like how it ended because it kind of did set up something a little juicier, how this all could be resolved, but it didn't go that route. It went a completely different route. And I don't know why, because it could have been wrapped up a little simpler. Maybe they're setting up a sequel or something like that. I don't know, but it really doesn't need a sequel to this. It's good as a singular entity, but as a singular entity, They Will Kill You gets a letter grade of a C plus. I thought it was a really good movie. Really good movie. And that's all you can ask for. This is pure escapism. If you want to go and just chill out and escape the world for an hour and 40 minutes, this is the movie for you, man. This will make you forget the rough day you had at work or the rough day you're having at the house with the missus or the mister, or the children. This is just something to get out and watch and just enjoy. Just enjoy. And I truly did enjoy They Will Kill You. I would like to know, did you enjoy They Will Kill You, and how did you feel about it? Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars and the reviews and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of They Will Kill You. I want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.